Hey, it's Jeannette again from Opens Clicks Cash, and today we are going to be talking about how you can create a top-of-mind automation inside of ONTRAPORT. But before we get started, make sure you like this video, share it on your social media platforms, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe now because every Wednesday and Friday we drop new videos on how you can grow your business. Okay, so let's get started with the automation for top of mind. The reason we're doing this today is because last week I showed you guys how to create a pop-up form on your website. And as a part of the process, when someone opts in, we created a confirmation email and we gave them a tag for the newsletter. So this automation is going to pull everyone in who has the tag for newsletter, and it would just get them in the rotation to start receiving that on a weekly basis. So we're going to go over everything you need to know about this, including how they can opt out if they, no longer want to receive your newsletter. So let's go ahead and jump into Entreport and get started. All right, here we are inside of Entreport. So as I said, the very first thing we're going to do is go ahead and build out the automation map for the weekly newsletters. And then we will create a goals map, and then we'll test everything out. Okay, so let's go to the top menu, hover on contacts, go down to automations, click there. Then you're going to click this orange box that says new automation. Then you're going to start from scratch. All right, I'm going to give this a quick name at the top left corner, like I always do. Okay. And of course, as you know, every automation map comes with a trigger. So this trigger is asking if someone is added to this map manually, what do you want to do? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them receive a tag. And no, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put an end here. All right. So I was at first going to say that if they're added manually, I'll give them the newsletter subscriber tag, but I'm just going to put an end here. And there are a few different reasons why. Number one, the next trigger that I'm going to add is going to be a trigger for when contact is added to tag. And then the tag is going to be the newsletter subscriber tag. On the left, our settings are stating who can activate this trigger, any contact in the account. That is correct. If the contact is already on the map, then what should we do? We should ignore this trigger, and that is correct. So I'm just going to click done. And the reason why I'm not going to do, add the tag here is because, to be honest, I don't even anticipate this manual trigger to be used. So I'm just going to go ahead and put an end here and leave it there. The reason why is because everyone who comes onto this map should have the newsletter subscriber tag. Even if they don't sign up through our pop-up form that's on the website, like let's just say, maybe they purchase a product or do something else within the business, that automation map that delivers those products and services to them, or even just a confirmation email, should also give them the tag. If you remember in our last video, we created a pop-up form that was basically inviting website visitors to join our email list to start receiving our weekly newsletter. So in that automation map, we delivered a confirmation email, and then right after that, they got the tag for newsletter subscriber. Essentially, that would work the same way, whether, the person is buying a product or coming into your funnel some other way. They would get that tag in that, automation map. So I really don't think that this first trigger would be used. So I just added an end here, and then where it says under the next trigger where it says tags are changed and the newsletter subscriber tag is added, under that we're going to add another end here. And then we're going to go forward with this automation map. So the only way for someone to get on this automation map is if we add them manually, which it's unlikely that we would do, or if they get the tag for newsletter subscriber. Okay, so the very next trigger is going to be a date trigger. Now, these date triggers are going to pull all the contacts on the map into one place so that on that date, they will get that newsletter. So we're going to use Fridays for an example. Today is March 1st, so I'm going to use March 1st, and we can go forward from there. So again, on the left side under the settings, you always want to make sure everything is correct. Who can activate this trigger? Anyone on the map. Just so you know, when it comes to using date triggers, it can only be anyone on this map. It's not going to be anyone in the account. If the contact is already on the map, what should we do? Move here when triggered. Yes, that is correct. So we're just going to hit done. And the very next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a condition. The reason why we're adding a condition is because our Friday newsletters go out at 8 a.m. CST. So you'll remember that if you were there, you know, when I did my last video. So if someone completes the pop-up form or they purchase a product or somehow receive the newsletter tag after 8 a.m. on a Friday, we still want them to get that newsletter, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to create a condition based on the time of day. So I'm still going to put dates to search up today's before or after date and time. And then I'm going to scroll down and we're going to do today is after a specific date. The date is March 1st, 2024. And the time is 8 a.m. in my time zone. Click done. All right. So if someone gets this newsletter tag and it's on the date of this trigger, they are still going to be able to get the newsletter. They're not going to have to wait a day or another week in order to get it. So that's why we added this condition. So if today is after March 1st at 8 a.m., then what we're going to do is we're going to go to filters and we're going to select go to. But if it's not after 8 a.m., then we're going to click here and we're going to click wait because we want them to wait until 8 a.m. That's when the newsletter goes out. So we'll click on the wait. Instead of it saying wait here forever, we're going to do some time passes. And then we're going to check this box that says wait until the time of day is, and then we're going to select 8 a.m. And then I'm going to hit done. All right, so the very next thing that's going to happen is the person will get the email. So we're going to click what happens next. We'll select send an email. And then this arrow under the go to, we're going to drag this so that they can receive the email. Okay. And then after they get the email, we're going to put an end here. Okay. So as far as the email goes, you're probably going to have these already done. But if you don't, always remember that you can create messages from an automation map. So you would just click on new message here at the top. But in this case, I did go ahead and create a newsletter. It's really just a template. You guys can see it if you want. So it's just a template that ONTRAPORT has. But I just wanted to be able to use something for this example. So I'm going to go ahead and click done. And now this first stream, this element stream is done. So again, if somebody completes the pop-up form and they get the newsletter subscriber tag, then they're going to be brought to this map. Now, if it just so happens to be March 1st and it's not 8 o'clock yet, they're going to wait until 8 o'clock. But if it's after 8 o'clock, then they're going to go straight to this newsletter. Okay. So in this case, it's going to go straight to the newsletter because we're going to test this once I'm done building it out, and you'll see that the newsletter comes right away. Now, when you're building a automation map for top of mind emails, you have to decide how many dates you want in one map. So we do ours month by month. And what that means is we only allow about 4 to 5 of these date triggers at the top. So since it's March 1st, we would basically have all of the Fridays in March set up in here. And then at the end of March, we would create one for the first Friday in April, but we wouldn't add any more until we're ready to delete the older March trigger dates. And I just want to let you know that you never want to just click into a trigger, change the dates, change the condition date, and all of that, because when you come to your analytics, it's not going to report accurately. So we learned that the hard way. We just set up our map and then we would just come and change the dates and change the email. And we found out that our reporting and our data was not accurate. So you want to always create new triggers and you always want to create new goals and things like that, because once you go back to look at your reports, you want everything to reflect correctly. So now that this first stream of elements is done, what you can do is you can grab this cross that's in the top left corner of the trigger, and you can drag it here to this arrow, and you would copy this, and you would copy this item and all the following items. And you can do this for the entire month. So here we go. This would be March. This would be for March 8th. And we would, of course, change the condition to match it. So instead of it being March 1st, we will change it to March 8th. And likewise, so this one would be for March 15th. And we would hit save and done. And then under the condition, we will change the date here. And we will go to March 15th, 2024, save and done. And then I'll just create one more for the 29th. Copy this item and all following items. And of course, we will go in to the trigger, change the date to the 29th here, 2024, select done. And then lastly, we will change this trigger. I'm sorry, this condition, sorry. And we will change this from the 15th to the 29th. Now, remember, if this was something that we were really building out, of course, all of our emails would need to also change, right? So I'm sure in your business, you are staying ahead. You're not writing, your emails the night before. You might be, but you can always go ahead and, pre-plan this. I mean, that's the beauty of automation, right? So you would write out all your emails for those separate dates, and then you could plug them in here in the automation map. Now, the reason why I was able to go ahead and copy each element stream is because this map is not live yet. No contacts have passed through this map and everything is completely brand new. If the automation was live and I was adding, what would the next date be? It would be sometime in April, right? So let's just say it's April 5th or something like that. Once the automation is live and I'm creating, the first Friday stream in April, I would not copy and drag and copy this again, because that would mean that all my reporting and all my data for April would be completely wrong. Okay, so just to make things simple, when you're first building it out, create it for a month. I mean, that's our practice. You can create 2 months, you can create 1 quarter, however you want to do it. Just remember that it just means that your automation map would be huge. So right now we have 6 triggers, and it's, we'd have to zoom out to see everything at once, right? But if you have a whole quarter worth of triggers, it's going to be a lot. It'll work just fine. But coming in, changing out the information, it might get a little bit cumbersome. So just, keep that in mind. But you can always go ahead and do a month at a time. And then, for example, once we get to the last Friday in March, what I usually do is I would delete all the early March dates, and then I would start new and add in my April dates. So that's how we go ahead and keep up with our top of mind automations. But you have to figure out what's best and what works for you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this just to make sure everything is saved. And then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to publish this automation map, but we are going to make sure that we give people an opportunity to opt out of our automations. So that's what we're going to do next. And then we'll test everything. Well, you know what? I'm going to create a map for our goals. So I'll show you how to create a goals map, and then we'll test everything and you'll see how it works. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so to go ahead and publish this and offer your contacts a way to unsubscribe from the newsletter, we're going to go to publish in the top right corner. We're going to go to subscription settings, and we're going to check this box that says show this automation on the subscription management page. And then we're going to give it a public name. So I'm just going to say newsletter subscription. And then here in the public description, I'll just say, thank you for being part of our community. If you no longer wish to receive our weekly newsletter, you can opt out of this specific campaign without being completely removed from our network. Okay, so when people click, if someone gets a newsletter and then they click to unsubscribe, they'll be brought to a page where they can manage their subscription. So they can opt out of the newsletter without opting out of everything else. So if you send emails to your list Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they happen to click opt out on Friday, they have an option to just click out or just opt out of the newsletter without opting out of everything else. So I'm just going to click save, and then I'm going to click publish. And now our automation is live, okay? So I'm gonna go back. So I'll click on this blue box here at the top left, and we can go ahead and create our automations map. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and click on the orange box again for new automation. And then we're gonna click on start from scratch again. Up at the top left, I'm gonna give this a name. So this is going to be an automation map for our goals, for our newsletter goals. So I'm just going to give this a quick name. Newsletter goals, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and click save. And then of course you see our first trigger here that comes with every map. I'm going to put an end here under this element. And then I'm going to add a trigger here. And the trigger I'm going to add for this is, have they been added to another automation? So I'm going to click on automation. Contact is added to an automation. They're going to ask me which one. And I'm going to select the newsletter, added to newsletter automation. Okay, and then I'm gonna look at the settings, of course. Who can activate this trigger? Of course, anyone in the account. If the contact is already on this map, what should we do? Ignore the trigger. Yes, that's correct. And we're just going to click done. And so what happens next? Okay, so we are going to click on what happens next, and we're going to do a goal. Okay, so again, with the goals map, similar to the newsletter delivery map, you have to decide in your business how you want to set up your goals. You can do goals for 1 month at a time, which I think is best. You can do goals for, a year if you want. Just remember that it's just going to make the automation map really big, and, you're just going to have to keep coming in and managing all of it. So, what I'm going to do is add a goal for clicks on email. So I'm going to say clicks on an email link. And then they're going to ask me which email. So of course, I'm going to do my newsletter. And then they're asking me what link. So you can actually count out the links, and you can do link 1, link 2, link 3, or you can do 0, and that'll be any link in that email. So, in your newsletters or in your, correspondence to your list, you may have links to your products and services. You may have links to, sign up for, an event, anything like that. You want to be able to track those clicks, then, you can use that in a goal. But goals can be anything as far as they purchase a product, they visit a landing page, things like that. So you just have to decide what goal that you want to track, or you can just track multiple goals. Okay. So in this, since we're talking about top of mind, newsletters or top of mind emails that go out on a regular basis, what we do at OpenClicks Cash is we track our clicks, and we go from there. There are, of course, when we create sales campaigns, then of course we use goals for, someone purchasing a product. All right, because that's what our goal is. In this case, since this is a top of mind automation map and we're sending out regular emails, we just want people to engage. So are they opening and clicking on it? That's how we know that they're interested and that what we're sending them, actually is valuable. So that's what we're going to use here. So now if you were doing 1 month at a time, what you could do is click on the arrow next to this first goal, and then you would click in there and you would still add your goal for clicks and email link. And then you would add, the next newsletter. So the first one would be for March 1st. The second one would be for March 8th. The third one would be for the 15th. The fourth one would be, so I'll just do that really quick so you can see. Okay, so as you can see, I added the rest of the goals here. So again, if we were creating this for real in our business, this first goal would be clicks a link in newsletter 3/1/24. Then this one would say clicks link in email newsletter 3/15/24. Clicks link in email newsletter 3, what's the next date? 29, right? So we would create all of the goals for each newsletter or each email that we're trying to manage or pretty much track. Okay, so under each goal, we would have an end here. And that's just so that we don't want them to leave the map, because the only way to get on the map is when they are added to our newsletter automation map. So they're only going to be added once. So the trigger is not going to reactivate if we allow them to leave the map after they click. So we always want to use an end, and each goal will still pull those contacts off the end. So if they click on the email from March 1st, and then they click on the email from March 15th, they will still be counted on both goals. So, you would still see it either way, okay? So this is how you would create a goals map. And I just want to say that there are tons of different ways that you can do this. You can also use a trigger for added to newsletter tag. It would work exactly the same way. So either way, this is what I use. They were added to a specific automation. And then, we would go ahead and change the dates here, change the goals here, excuse me. So these goals would be for specific emails that they get. Okay. So again, you can use this per month, or you can delete it, use the same one and just rebuild it and write in the same automation map. But again, I just want to say you don't ever want to click into a goal and then change the goal. So right now, of course, we have our newsletter email. You would never want to come in here and then change the message. So if it's already in here for March 1st newsletter, you don't want to come in here and change it to the March 15th newsletter. The reason being is because, again, these goals and the triggers and everything that's tracking this data, it's not going to be accurate if we're using the same element for multiple different assets. Okay. So you always want to make sure if you're using the same map, delete the whole thing and just rebuild it. But you can use, you can use the same map, but just delete the elements and re-add them, okay, from scratch. So I'm going to click save here. I'm going to click publish. And as you can see, I didn't have to do anything with the subscription or them opting out, because this is an internal map that we would just use for our team. Only thing that we use this map for is to see who clicked on what email. Okay, so this has nothing to do with a front-facing, automation map. So now that we created our goals map, we have our delivery map, we're all set to go ahead and test this out. So again, the way I'm going to test this is I'm going to go to the website with the pop-up. I'm going to fill out the pop-up form again. I'm going to show you that they sent me the confirmation email. And then I'm going to show you that they also sent out the newsletter, because right now it's March 1st and it's after 8 a.m. Okay, so you're going to see all of that. And then I'll go back inside of ONTRAPORT and show you how it looks on the back end. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the website now. Okay, so if we want to go ahead and test this out, we need to open a new window and go to the website. So I'm going to do that. And then as soon as this pop-up comes up, I'll go ahead and fill that out. Should just take a quick second. All right, so here goes the form. I'm just going to go ahead and put in my information. I'm going to hit submit. Got my thank you, and now I should get 2 emails. So the first one should just be like welcoming me to the community, and then the second one should be the actual first newsletter, because it's Friday and the newsletters do come out on each Friday. All right, so we'll give my email a few minutes to get that, and we will go back to ONTRAPORT and look at the automations. So I'll go ahead and open up the newsletter automation. All right, you see how it has the 1 here? That means that when I just completed the form, it brought me into the map, which it did exactly what it was supposed to do. All right, so this is for March 1st. It went through the condition. And it says yes. The 1 contact did come into the yes category because it was after 8 a.m. And then I received the email, and it should be in my inbox now. And then I'm waiting on the end. So when next Friday comes, the 15th, this trigger is going to be activated, and it's going to bring my contact up off of that end. And I'm going to wait there until 8 a.m. to get my next newsletter. All right, so I'm going to go back. I didn't change anything, so I'm not going to save. And then I'm going to go to my email just to show you. Okay, my email's taking a little bit longer than expected, so that's okay. It's still going to come. And then I'm going to also show you that our goals, automation map was also activated. So anytime someone gets added to the newsletter automation, they will also be added to the goals map. So of course, once I click on a link in the newsletter, it will show here, and then it will give me a percentage and all that good stuff. So I will have my reporting and my analytics at the end of the month or week or whenever you go ahead and, track everything. So let me see. All right, I'm just going to check on this email. All right, see, look, it popped right up. Okay. So the first one, oh, I actually clicked in the wrong one. But these are the correct emails I'm supposed to get, but I did want to show you the first one that I'm supposed to get. So this is just the welcome. This is when you fill out the form online, you get this immediate, thank you and kind of welcome. And then because the form was filled out on a Friday and the newsletters go out on Fridays, I actually did get this first newsletter. Okay, so here it goes. Oh, you know what? There is a button here. So let me see if I can click it. I don't know if I can because obviously I just used a template. I wanted to just create something so that I could show you. Okay, so I was able to click that. I'm not sure if Entreport is going to track that click because again, this is just a template email, but we can still go ahead and check. But the main thing is I just wanted to show you that we set up the automation correctly and everything went as planned. Okay, so I'm going to just exit out of my email. All right, so let me check on the goals map. All right, so again, they did bring me into the map and okay, so they didn't track my click and I didn't think they would, honestly, because it is, like I said, it was just a template email that I went ahead and selected just for our example here today for the tutorial. But in general, you've seen how I went ahead and built the map and built the goals map and how we do the date triggers and everything like that. So hopefully this made sense. Again, if you want to try Entreport for free, 14 days, make sure you click the link in the description down below. Or if you're going to use this to implement a top of mind automation map in your own CRM, please let me know how it works. And if you are having trouble finding things, I'm just curious to know what you guys use out there. We've been using Entreport for a while now, so that's what we're used to. But I would love to hear from you if you use something else and how it's going. Other than that, let me know in the comments if you found this useful and if you want me to do any other tutorials relating to top of mind emails or anything with automations and things like that. Other than that, I will see you next time.